This is a no fluff, step-by-step video to show you how to use Google Ads for product launches. This is especially useful if you have an online product and or you have an e-commerce store and you actually ship that product, right? So we're going to do it for both scenarios, and this experience comes from helping over 3,000 companies grow with Google Ads in the last 10 years. So you're going to get the most up-to-date information, the most tried and tested, what works right now at the moment in time that you're watching this video. If you need to pause at any point in time, do that. This is really made for you to follow on screen and do this in your own Google Ads account. And of course, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments below, and we'd love to get back and help each and every single one of you. All right. Oh, and one last thing. This is pretty much the exact strategy that our clients typically pay as like anything north of like $10,000 and upwards, right? So I'm gonna give this away for free. Just don't show it to our clients, okay? So, okay, let's get started. So, if I was about to launch a product, what I would do is I would create a search campaign, I would create a display campaign, and I would create a YouTube campaign. Now, some of you might ask, well, why not a performance max campaign? The reason is that in the beginning, I want to understand my audience. I want to get data that I can measure, that I can use, that I can implement. And with a performance max campaign, while I do get, conversions and so on, which you can also get with the other campaigns, I do not know where that actually came from. Did that come from search? Did it come from display? Did it come from discovery? Did it come from my images, from text, and so on? Like, all that data is something that Google does not share with you, right? So I'll take you through all those three right now. And I'm gonna just make some notes, because while I do this, I'm sure I'm gonna get some ideas, and I wanna make sure that you get all of that. So we're gonna get started with search, then we'll do display, and then we'll do video, right? And for each one of these campaigns, I'm going to set up one ad group so that you get an idea, but obviously I will show you how to add different ad groups as well along the line. So let's get started with a search campaign. All right, when you're in your account, you probably see something like this. Make sure you click on campaigns if you're not already there, or plus new campaign. All of these clicks get you to the same point. And we're going to want to start and create a new campaign. So, as always, we want to start off with creating a campaign without a goals guidance, because for all those of you who are new here, that gives me the most amount of options, the biggest amount of settings that I can choose from, with the least amount of preset options already, and it typically gives us the best performance. So we're going to get started with search. And if you do not have your conversions set up yet, don't worry about it. You can always set them up later and add them to the campaign later, right? Because in the beginning, also, we want to optimize for manual cost per click, and I'll explain that in a second why. Now, for your website visits here, you just put in your domain, right? So your main domain. Let me put example.com. And then we're gonna continue. So this is not yet the URL that's gonna show in the ad, right? And then we're gonna give the baby a name, as always. In this case, we're gonna call it search. You might wanna call it like product name. And then we can give it the month and the year when you're starting it. As you're continuing to develop campaigns, this will really help you to keep an overview of what each campaign is about and analyze them better. All right, so we're gonna start a new one here. And in this case, of course, Google says focus on conversions, but I don't want to focus on conversions first, because what we've seen in a lot of instances when we focus on conversions first is that A, there's not yet any data that Google can actually optimize it for in case your Google Ads account is new. And B, oftentimes by focusing on conversions, we end up paying more for a conversion and for a click than if we focus on manual CPC, while of course still measuring the conversions in the back end, right? So we're gonna say clicks, We're not going to set a maximum cost per click bid limit now. We don't need that in the beginning. We're going to keep it open. We're going to keep this on tick 2, and we'll say next. We're going to turn off the Google Display Network because, as said, that would be a different campaign, right? I never recommend putting a search and a display campaign in one campaign because over the last 10 years, guys, we've always seen that combination performs much worse than if you just split it up, right? So then you're going to enter the location where you want to advertise it, right? And if you want to advertise it in a certain radius, let's say around a certain store location, if you are in retail and your product is already in retail, right? I could put in any store name. I'm not going to mention specific ones now. And then you can put in the radius here, right? Or if you say it's just a whole country, you can put in the whole country. And then you want to make sure you choose presence people in or regularly in your included locations. You find it under the location options, right? We would only choose the first one if we're targeting a travel related product or something else, right? But for now, we'll go with this one. All right, languages. You want to choose the languages of your target market, but consider this is the browser language, right? So if I'd be advertising in the US, I'd at least choose Spanish as well. If I'd be advertising in Switzerland, I'd choose German, English, French, and Italian, right? Now, audience segments, we're not going to add them for now. We're going to keep this is off. Beautiful. Ad rotation, we're going to keep it on do not optimize. And then for the start and end dates, you can obviously set it in the future at some point if you do not want to get it started right now. End date, we're going to keep it running typically for a search campaign. That's not one that we limit by time. All right, then you can get help creating your ad, right, with Google. Typically, I prefer to use, at the point of recording this video, Claude.ai for helping me. And so I'm going to choose skip here. And I'm going to call this ad group 1, the keywords that people would be using around this product. So let's say you have a tea brand, right? Because I love tea and I drink a lot of it. Cheers, everyone. And let's say you are launching a new, what kind of tea are we launching? You're launching a new matcha brand, right? You're launching matcha tea, okay? So we're going to call this the matcha ad group, right? So just say matcha tea. And then you can put in your website here and example products here, right? And then the keywords are going to show up here. Now, what I will do, and I will show you guys how to actually do some keyword research, so that this is even more valuable for you. I'd love to use answerthepublic.com. And right now you see a whole bunch of German here because German is my mother tongue, right? But we'll switch it to the United States. Hold on, I need to write United States in English or not. There we go. And I'm going to switch to English and I'm going to put in matcha tea. And you'll see how in a couple of seconds, I'm already going to get data on the search volume and all the other keywords. Now, while this is loading, I'm going to show you another tool that I love, which is trends.google.com. And as you go here, you can put in matcha tea, and I can explore that. And I'm going to choose, again, the United States here. And past day, I probably want to choose past 30 days. Web search, everything is fine. And I can see here what other people are looking for, right? And this, of course, gives me ideas for keywords. I can download this, and then I can simply copy, paste it, and upload it in my search campaign. Now, obviously, there's a whole bunch of other tools, but these two right now are pretty good ones. You can also see here that I get a whole bunch of questions. Are matcha bags as good as the powder? Are matcha tea and green tea the same? Will matcha tea keep you awake? And so on, right? So this also gives you a lot of ideas already for blog articles and so on. But I don't want to go too far off. We're going to stick with our search campaign. And also here, you can click on download CSV file and then simply upload the keywords, right? So what we're going to do here right now, I'm going to go to my CSV file and make sure that I copy paste the keywords. And so, all right, let's go back to Google Ads. Here I have already a whole bunch of keywords, right? I want to take out any branded keywords in this case, because if I do branded, then I would want to add this in a different campaign. All right, here now I have, how many keywords do I have? 20 probably, or something like that, 15 to 20. This is a good thing to get started with, or a good amount to get started with, so I'm going to keep them as they are. Now, the final URL here is where you want to add the product URL of your product, not just like exampledomain.com, but I would put here matcha tea subscription, for example, if you work with a subscription-based product, right? And then adjust the display path, right? So I would put matcha tea, and then I could say order now, right? And you can see on the right-hand side here how that domain is adjusting, right? All right, then we get to the headlines. So I will show you here what I do as well. And as again mentioned before, I love Claude for this. So I will put up a project in Claude as I'm writing this, and I'm going to share this here with you. And I'm saying here, I want to create a Google search campaign and would like your help with creating my ad copy. I need 15 headlines, each not longer than 30 characters, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 30 characters. Each not longer than 30 characters. And 4 descriptions, each not longer than 90 characters, including spaces. Very important, right? My product is about, and then what you can do is you can literally copy paste your product description here, or you can upload it as a file, and it will give you descriptions based on that, right? So I'm going to keep it more general. So what Claude is going to come up here is going to be more general. What you probably get when you upload your product here is going to be a lot more specific, right? My product is about new organic matcha tea brand tea that is freshly imported from Japan. It has only the best quality, got tested by thousands of customers, and got raving reviews. Let's see. Obviously, I'm making all this up right now, okay? So use only true information for your product, all right? So, and you can see here, I already have the 15 headlines here, and I can literally just like copy, paste it in my Google Ads. Let me copy this one thing here. I'm gonna copy this, and I go back into my Google Ad and put it in here. And I will do this with every single one of them, right? Now, obviously, I'm not gonna do all the 15 here right now because it's gonna take a long time, but really make sure you add all the 15 headlines, right? For the descriptions, I will do the same. I am in my Claude, I scroll down and I have the descriptions here. Obviously, please make sure all of this is accurate, right? All of this has the right product information and is adjusted and fits to your target audience, okay? All right, now we assume we have all the 15 headlines, all the 4 descriptions, and then business name and logo, add that last, site links added last and separately, same with callouts. Sometimes when we see people add it in the ad campaign here, they actually, the ad isn't able to be saved because Google has some bugs there, so it's safer to add it later. Then you can click on done, and let's see, here we are. This all looks good. I can go click on next. I'll add my budget. And oh, it wants me to confirm it's me. Let me quickly do that. Lovely Google. So, all right. And obviously set your budget. In this case, I'll show you something. Let's see if this works. Because oftentimes when we set a smaller budget, the average cost per click goes down. So we have a 0.22 right now. Let's see what happens when I go to 30 bucks. It actually goes down. Okay, so here you go. Here you go. Proof is in the pudding. So yeah, use a budget that works for you, right? And we'll probably create another budget based on another video based on the budget. Anyway, next, quickly, a good budget to get started with for a search campaign is somewhere between like 30 to 50 bucks a day. That's where you can get solid data, okay? And then what you'll do is you review your campaign, and then it would be ready to publish. Now, the one thing while this thing is checking for errors that I want you to do is copy paste your keywords somewhere where you have them at hand, right? And I'll show you why, because you're going to use them in the next campaign. All right, so I waited a little bit and it's still checking for errors. Actually, this, unfortunately, these days seems to be quite common. Now, at one point, it should switch to publish campaign like this, right? If it takes longer than 5 minutes to continue to publish campaign, then most likely it's a bug, right? So it has happened before that then you have to recreate the campaign. It's just a technical thing, unfortunately. Before you do that, make sure you delete your cache and cookies, okay? But I do hope that you see the publish campaign button, right? And so you can click on publish campaign now, and it's gonna show us setup with a Google tag. I'm gonna ignore that for now. And let's go. We can click here actually, then we're gonna go out. Perfect. And I'm gonna pause this campaign because I do not want to run it. Obviously, it's not a real campaign in this case, right? Now, the one step I wanted to take for your keywords right now is because we left them in broad match, and we want to make sure that they're all in phrase match, which is a lot better than using broad match in the beginning. So let's see where our keywords are. Oh, I've got to change the campaign status to enabled and paused. Perfect, here they are. So I'm gonna select where's my matcha campaign? Here. I'm gonna select all the keywords. You can see it's broad match here. I'm gonna say edit, and then change match types, change all match types, and I'll change it to phrase match. That way, all the keywords that I have in one keyword phrase have to be present in the search query of the user in order for my ad to be eligible to show up, okay? All right, here we go. And then, of course, you can go ahead and set up your assets and separately. Remember to always do that separately. We created a whole bunch of videos on those, so we'll make sure we'll link those in the description below, or check out our channel for any kind of like asset related videos, okay? But in general, add as many assets as possible because they increase your click-through rate, they increase your conversions, and all of that, okay? Now, what we want to do next, we just set up our search campaign. Now we're going to set up our video campaign, right? So video is a really great tool for brand awareness. And there's so many tools out there these days that you have pretty much no excuse left to not create a video, right? There are plenty of tools, and at least having a product video out there to appeal to people in a visually engaging and in an audio way has always helped with not just like selling the product, but also with creating brand awareness much quicker, okay? So let's go ahead with creating a video campaign. And you might have already guessed it, we're gonna create a campaign without a goals guidance. We're gonna say video here. And then in this case, I think what might be best here is using efficient reach, because I want to have a little bit more, target frequency. I want to have a little bit more control about how over how often people see certain ads, right? Let's go to continue, start new. And just to make sure everything is still here, perfect. So again, we're gonna give the baby a name. In this case, we'll give product name, and then again, month and year of when you're starting it. Target frequency, so I would say frequency weekly 3. If you're just launching a product, you can probably go for like weekly 4, right? Now, what's actually interesting, if you go with a video view campaign, you have a lot more control over this, but we'll keep it simple for now, okay? Target CPM, keep it with that. That's fine. It's target cost per 1,000 impressions. I would go with a daily budget because that's ideally something we'd want to keep running for a while. Again, here's something between 30 to 50 bucks if you're a small business and you just like want to get a feel for it, right? Start date, obviously you can put it into the future. And networks, YouTube is fine. We're going to keep it. We only want to show YouTube here. Okay, then again, we're going to choose our location, right? So we can, in this case, not choose the location options, but that's okay. Languages, we're going to keep it on all languages here. And if you've already created other videos, then choose related videos and add up to 1 to 2 videos that can be shown below your ad. So this can be really helpful for like some additional subconscious impressions when people are watching your ads, right? So that they see, oh, they don't just have like matcha tea, they already have like other types of green tea or whatever, right? Then additional settings. All this looks good. I'm going to leave it right now as it is. Then you can, if you don't have your video ready yet, right? You can say skip ad group and creation, and you can pause and you can create your campaign like that, and you can add it later, right? Maybe we'll actually do that so you see the whole process, because I know we have another video on the channel that shows you exactly how to proceed from here. So I want to show you how this works. And we can say create campaign, right? So I'll continue to overview. And the first thing I'll do is I'm going to pause it because I don't want it to run yet. So I'm going to go back to the campaign. I'm going to click on it. And I'm already here with ad groups, and I see there's nothing in here, right? So whenever you have your video created, upload it to your YouTube channel and make sure your Google Ads account is connected with your YouTube channel. If you haven't done that yet, then you should find that. Whoa, this moved a bit. Let me see if we can find it here. I think it's under tools, and let me see if I can find it for you. Let's see if it's under business data. Nope. Admin, account settings. Yeah, it's gonna be somewhere. We'll see that. We'll link an article on how to link that, right? So we can focus on the campaign for now. So, okay, we're gonna create an ad group. We are going to give the ad group a name. In this case, we are gonna say, what are we gonna choose? We're going to choose competitor URL. No, we'll do the keywords. We'll do the search terms first. We'll say custom search terms. This is one of my favorite audience targeting options in YouTube. And obviously, edit your demographics as you like, whatever you see fit for your product, but don't narrow it too much, right? And then we're going to go to additional audience segments, and then we're going to go to custom search terms. So this is really cool because then we can target people who've used the search terms in Google before, right? So they went to Google search, searched that, and then after that, they're eligible to see your ad in YouTube, right? Now, what you want to do here is you want to make sure that you only add one search term per segment, because that way you can actually get the data for each search term. If you put all the search terms in here right now in one audience, you're not going to get any breakdown of how each one performed. And we've seen that there can be really, really strong differences from up to like 10 times the high cost per conversion from one search term to another, right? So you'll add it, click save. You'll click again here, new custom search terms, and you add one by one. Now, of course, this in the beginning takes a bit more time, right? But the advantage is just the data that you get is gonna make it up many, many times by the time that you spend on this. I mean, ideally, it shouldn't take more than 10, 15 minutes, right? All right, you can exclude something if you've already built them an audience on your website, but for now, I would keep it as it is. We're not going to enable audience expansion. That's a rule of thumb because we never get any data about how that expanded audience actually performed. And then what you can do here, you can add your YouTube video. Now, what's really, really cool here, I want to make sure you notice, is you can create a video within Google Ads. So if you haven't created a video yet, you can actually create this from within your Google Ads account, right? And we've tested that versus pre-made videos for products, and they both perform exactly the same, right? So I'm gonna show you quickly how to do this here because it's a really cool feature that only shows up typically once you have created the campaign and saved it. So when you just create the campaign the first time, save it without an ad group like I did it in this video, and then add the ad and the ad group later because then you will see this, right? So I'm gonna click here and I'll share this tab with you so that you see what's happening. And this is just really hidden, right? Like some of the best features in Google are really hidden and it's so annoying because that's what actually helps you. But yeah. So what you can see here is we've already created some test videos here. And if you scroll down, you can obviously filter it by all kinds of categories, but you can simply use a template, click on that, and then you can just add all your logos here, your descriptions, and you're gonna create this video. You can add music, voiceovers. So you really don't need to be a video editor in order to create this video, right? And then once you've done it, you say continue to upload it and it's done, right? So let's go back here and let me just take a sample video, one of our videos that we have, so that you just get an idea of the ad setup, right? Now, just give me a second while I pull this up. Maybe I'll actually look for, oh, this is a good video. We are gonna, how to set up a YouTube campaign without a video. There we go. Let me get the link. We've actually created a separate video for this already. Here you go. I'm gonna choose, let's say in this case, a skippable in-stream ad. You can add your final URL here, right? That could be the same as you've chosen in the search campaign before. So matcha tea subscript or buy now, right? And then I can change the display URL if I want to. I can add a call to action, right? So in this case, buy now. I can add a headline, and you can add a headline from your Claude, right? That you used before. Plus rave reviews. Plus reviews. Or let's say organic matcha, right? We're just pretending this video that I put here right now is about matcha tea, okay? So, and then you can create a companion banner. A companion banner shows up on desktop. Let me show you here. Here, on this side here, right? So it's this bar here on the right-hand side above buy now. It's 300 times 60 pixels, and it shouldn't be more than 150 kilobytes. I would highly recommend going in Canva and doing that and drafting like 3 to 4 different images that you test because they have a really, really good, like it's just a better call to action visual, right? And then you can call this matcha, right? And then you add a bid, right? In this case, it's to help you reach your frequency target. We recommend a bid of like 8.05. It's okay, we'll use this in the beginning, and then if we get a better idea of our data, we can always reduce that, right? And then once you're done with that, you can say save ad group, and you got your ad group all ready, right? Or obviously, if you want to create the ad later, you can again say skip ad creation. Okay, so, all right. Now that we have created a search campaign and a video campaign, the last campaign I would want you to create for your product launch is a display campaign. Now, a display campaign can be really, really useful to just make sure your ad with different messaging shows up in different places that you have a pretty good control over, right? The main thing here to consider is that you don't necessarily have to create image ads on your own or the creatives, right? Google actually gives you an opportunity to create them, and I'll show you how. And we've tested this again, and every single time, the creatives we have within Google outperform the created images. And that's most likely because they fit a higher range of placements, right? So we'll click here on the blue plus, new campaign. And again, we're going to create a campaign without a guidance. I just realized they removed without a goals guidance. Now it's without guidance. Google changes something every week, right? And you won't know unless you're actually in the account every week. All right, display. And we're not going to use any goals for display, right? Because I want to optimize for impressions. We're going to put our main website domain here again and continue. I'm going to give the baby a name, product name, month, year. Continue, start new. You might not see that start new window if you haven't created campaigns before, right? So don't get irritated by that. Again, we're going to enter our location. And here we have the same settings as in a search campaign. We're going to do the same thing over again. And languages, again, I want to make sure I'm going to reach people's browser languages. See if I have any more settings. Yes, do not optimize. We typically change that after like 2 to 4 weeks for any campaign type whenever we have enough data available. Okay, so the rest looks pretty good. Content exclusions, very important. I typically want to exclude this middle column here. It's not any kind of content that I would want any of our clients' brands to be associated with. Okay. And then next. Budget, again here, 30 to 50 bucks are a good starting point here. If you are a small business, of course, if you want to try it with a lesser budget, please go ahead. Bidding, viewable impressions, again, not conversions. Viewable bid, let's see if it gives me it gives me the suggestion of 1 cent. I gladly use that. And then next. Okay, so this is very sneaky. This can be turned off only after I've chosen the targeting, right? So I'm going to choose audience segments here because we're going to do something really, really cool. We are going to target people who have been on websites that are similar to your competitors' websites, right? Because they're obviously interested in these products, so they have a very, very high likelihood to also be interested in knowing what you got to offer. So we're going to click on, sorry if this was too fast, let me go back here. So search, go to browse, go to custom segments, and then plus custom segment. And then you're going to choose people who browse websites similar to, right? So I'm going to put competitor website1.com and enter. And I'm going to put the same name here. And I can close this one. I'm not going to need it. And the same here is with the keywords, search terms. I want to make sure I create one audience per website, because if I put all of them in one campaign, then in one audience, in one segment, I'm not going to get any data which one of them actually performed better. Okay, so save, and you can see it here, and then you just add more of these, right? I would recommend adding at least like 15 to 20. The more, the merrier. Once you've done that, you can already see here the on button appeared, so we can take that off. And we're going to say add targeting, change the demographics. If you already know your demographics pretty well, if you're not yet sure, keep them active, right? Now, the rest we'll leave for now, and we'll click next. And then here, you're going to set up your display campaign, right? You're going to, again, use your final URL. We used buy now, or I think subscriptions, right? So that was it. You're going to add your business name. Let's say, and I hope this business doesn't exist. Please, if anybody knows this brand, I did not hear about it before. You add images, add up to 15 images, right? You can upload them from your website, right? So you can just connect your website here and it's going to show the images from your website. You can upload them. You can choose free stock images, right? You can see any assets you've uploaded before and you can choose them. Just make sure you choose like a good 15 images, right? Add your own logo, very, very important. Add your logo in a square and in a vertical format, right? Again, important. You can also check if it pulls it directly from your website. Do not add videos. We just created a video campaign and we want to keep that separately, right? And then again here, you can add up to 5 headlines, add like a long headline, which is pretty much like a 6 description because you have 5 description, right? And you can go back to Claude and ask it for another description. You can just take the same headlines and descriptions that you've already had for your search campaign before. In the beginning, that's the simplest way to go. Obviously, as you continue, you want to adapt and change your messaging. But to get started, this is absolutely enough. Okay. And then we're going to want to look at more options, right? So we're going to add the call to action text and we also want to add the custom colors, our brand colors, right? So make sure you add your brand colors here. If you're not sure what your brand colors are, go to Google and look for custom color pickers and so on. And there's plenty of tools that let you get these codes within like a minute, right? Call to action, we probably want to change that to, let's see what we got, maybe shop now, and English if that's the main language that you're using in your ads. And once you're done with that, you can say create ad, click next, and you're done with your display campaign as well, right? So I know this was a pretty quick run through, but what I want to do is actually watch this video while you are creating your campaigns, right? Add the headlines, pause it, see what I say next. Add the descriptions, see what I say next, right? If you need tips for like your descriptions and for your ad copy, what I would recommend is use as little we as possible. Talk about what you or your product does for the customer. Say how many reviews you got, say how many customers you got, tell me what people like about the product, tell me what problem does it solve, right? Like matcha tea, right? Be prepared for workday without getting the caffeine high of a coffee or something like that, right? But make it situational. Show me how this product fits into my lifestyle. Yeah? All right, that's it. Let us know where you got questions. Put them down in the comments below. We're happy to respond and help you wherever we can. And obviously, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.